Can the power of surprise be both quality and price? We'll find out this week on Motoring 2006.
TSN's Motoring 2006 is brought to you by the new Q from Quaker State. Unleash all your horses.
It goes like stink. It's great fuel economy. It's a great looking car. I think we have the whole package here, and I think people want that. They want to be seen in a cool car, and this is one cool car.
That's the voice of Bill Porter, the Grand Fromage at Kia Motors, explaining how Canadians love cool small cars and that the new Kia Rio fits the bill. Well, it's true, Canadians do love small cars, and every year, led by the Honda Civic, they are the best-selling vehicles in this country, unlike our good friends south of the border, where pickup trucks and sport utilities are certainly the profit center for car manufacturers. Well, you know, in this country, guess what is the second most best-selling vehicle? It is the antithesis of cool. In fact, if you listen to my friends, they wouldn't be caught dead in a, you guessed it, a minivan. But last year, Chrysler alone sold over 100,000 minivans. Well, this week we're in beautiful British Columbia, where Kia is about to introduce its second-generation Sedona. And yes, they'd like to take some sales away from Chrysler, but as we're about to see, Kia is taking dead aim at the Japanese.
The new Sedona is again another vehicle where we're introducing something brand new to the Canadian public. It's going to be a class leader. It will sell very, very well. We've been very successful with the old style Sedona, which was introduced in 2001. It'll represent something like 20% of our volume, so it's a very important car to Kia Canada. It's a second generation, and this Sedona, it's very well equipped. It's a long wheelbase Sedona, so it's going to compete with the big boys. I call them the big boys, and we're not afraid of the big boys. It's a vehicle that we know will appeal to the minivan owner that may have a Chrysler or a Ford or a GM. And we're not dumb enough to think Honda owners are going to get rid of their Odyssey and buy a Sedona, but we're smart enough to know there's a lot of domestic buyers out there who will love the warranty that we offer, the space that we offer, and most importantly, the value that we offer in this vehicle.
We knew that the new Sedona had to be competing with the best minivans in the market today. So in order for us to do that, we needed to improve our performance area. So as a result, we were able to create one of the most powerful engines in the minivan segment today, producing 244 horsepower. That's 28% improvement over the previous model that it replaces. The new Sedona was designed to be a leader, an ultimate people hauler. In order for us to do that, we had to increase the size. The overall length and wheelbase has been stretched to be among the largest minivan in the segment today. That has allowed us to improve the interior comfort, allowing more spacious cabin and allowing more headroom, more legroom, more hip room, and greater comfort all around. And as you can well imagine, with little children and family being the primary passengers, we needed to improve the safety aspect. So in order to do that, we have included the front airbags as well as side front airbags and 6 side curtain airbags all around as a standard feature on all models. We also have added ABS as a standard feature, active headrest, tire pressuring monitoring system. All those features are included as standard feature on the new Sedona.
The first thought and continuing thought I have on the Sedona is big. It's a lot bigger than the old one. It's as big now as the biggest minivans out there, and it feels big, it feels substantial. The other thing that I think is intriguing, particularly about Kia, is how much more refined their vehicles are in a very short order. The engine is still a bit coarse in the Sedona, but overall the ride quality, the quietness, the fit and finish, they've made huge strides in just the last couple of years.
It's the 4th largest segment in Canada, and it's our 4th largest volume vehicle for Kia Canada. So the key drivers for a minivan are, in this order, number 1 is value of the product. Number 2 is size, interior capacity. Number 3 would be dependability. We may be only 5 years in Canada, but we've been in business for 60 years. We're the oldest manufacturer of vehicles in Korea. So we know we've got that covered as well. We cover all the elements in this segment. We like to think we compete in every segment in the market. We're not a one-hit wonder like Mazda with a Mazda 3. We're a company that sells a number of vehicles, and we do very well with all of the vehicles we sell. Vehicles like Rio, Spectra, Sorento, Sedona. They're the foundation of our company, and they represent equal volume. So we're not as reliant on one vehicle as some other companies are. So it's just the way Kia does business, and that's why we've been so successful in global markets.
A lot of people wouldn't be caught dead in a minivan. Are you hoping their attitude changes when they see this vehicle?
Absolutely. Minivan, we feel that it's still a very strong market today, and the minivan that we have created on this new Sedona, for sure, it has all the key attributes to be a leader in its class, and the demand is still strong in our opinion.
Everybody says that minivans have a lousy image and nobody wants to be seen driving one. Well, they sell thousands and thousands of these things. It's still one of the biggest market segments in Canada because these vehicles make a lot of sense to a lot of people. Now, I wonder what you could use that thing for. I'll tell you later on Kenzie's Corner.
Back in 2000, we awarded the Echo our Car of the Year, and it was primarily done because that little car did more to advance the cause of the economy car than just about anything that had gone before it. This week on Test Drive, we take a look at that vehicle's replacement. This is the all-new Yaris. The Yaris is the first new Toyota to use the company's vibrant clarity styling philosophy. As the name implies, it blends a vibrant look that manages to remain uncluttered to the eye. It also addresses the Echo hatch's rather cramped size. Not only is the Yaris 35mm wider, 25mm taller, the length and wheelbase both jump by a substantial 90mm, which makes a tremendous difference, not only in the available space, but in just about every facet. You know, when you get to this new Yaris, there's good news and bad news. The good news is you can get anti-lock brakes. The bad news is you've also got to buy air conditioning, power locks and windows, which means that an anti-lock brake system will set you back over $3,000. I guess it really is easier to follow rather than lead the pack and offer them as a standalone option. Bumping the dimensions and the car's footprint also deliver some semblance of handling. The front gas-charged McPherson struts and torsion beam rear axle deliver a lot more poise than the previous hatch. When pushed through the pylons, the Yaris does roll to a degree, but all things considered, it's now as good as anything in its class. There's also plenty of grip, and this in spite of the snow tyres fitted on the Tester. The other likeable trait is the feel imparted by the electrically assisted steering. Normally, electric boost tends to feel a little wooden. The Yaris is nicely weighted and very responsive to input. Inside, the Yaris takes a huge step forward when compared to the Echo. Now, whilst it's all very familiar, the instruments sit at the top of the centre stack. There's now more information there. The radio can still be operated relying upon peripheral vision. And the climate controls, well, they're all large enough now to be operated with a gloved hand. But the biggest step forward is the quality of the plastics. Out gone the cheap, in comes a more expensive fit and finish that really does add a touch of class to the car. Now that class is evident. They've even added damp grab handles. Now that's something you normally associate with a car much more expensive than the Yaris. The engine also sees a major upgrade. It now puts out 106 horsepower and 103 pounds-feet of torque. While the numbers do not sound like much, they do bring a surprising urgency to the drive. Obviously, having to motivate a little over 1,000 kilograms of sheet metal helps, but so does the use of intelligent variable valve timing as it spreads the power over a broader range. As a result, the Yaris gets to 100k in 9.4 seconds and completes the 80 to 120 discipline in 7.7 seconds, which gets you past a slower vehicle with much more safety than before. Around at the back of the Yaris, well, things are even better. The one thing you do have to remember, buy the LE package because it adds this rear wiper, and it is a must on this hatchback. Inside, you'll find much more cargo space than the old Echo. There's plenty of space under the floor, plenty of room above it. As for the rear seat riders, there's a lot more head and leg room. Now, if you do need to carry a lot more cargo, you simply fold the rear seat flat and Bob's your uncle. The other thing you'll find is this. Now this is the seat belt for the middle rider. The only problem is there's nowhere for him to sit. The other thing that impresses with the new engine is its miserly thirst for fuel. The official ratings peg it at 6.9 litres per 100 kilometres in the city and 5.5 on the highway when hooked up to the smooth shifting 5-speed manual gearbox found in the tester. However, a week-long test delivered an outstanding average of 6.1 litres per 100 kilometres, which with the cost of fuel hovering around about 90 cents, is a big reason to smile as you pass yet another gas station. You know, this new Yaris is a better car in just about every measurable way than the one it replaces. It's got more power and yet better fuel economy, more comfort and yet it handles better. It really does set a whole bunch of new benchmarks in the economy car segment. If there is a drawback, it's the way Toyota packaged the anti-lock brakes. By wrapping it in with a whole bunch of other stuff, they effectively force you to buy an up-level model. Now, they should have taken a leadership position, offered it as a standalone option, and that way the rest of the industry would have had to follow the giant, which would have made things better for everybody.
The Saturn Aura concept is an all-new mid-size sedan that features a new face for Saturn, with strong, bold headlamps that are beautifully detailed. Exterior styling of Aura is fluid, muscular, and powerful, with European design cues and a sense of technical harmony. Saturn's strengths are well known, but we at GM knew the challenges we were facing. The ability to build on the equity Saturn had created by providing great customer service, but the need to broaden the product lineup that would realize its potentials.
What we're not going to walk away from is our terrific customer handling. That is not going to change. What is going to change is our design direction of the future, a little bit more charismatic when it comes to the designs. Charismatic feel in the products. You've seen that in the Sky. You're seeing it in this particular concept vehicle as well. We can't wait to bring it to the marketplace.
You in trouble again, David?
Ain't fair, Sheriff. Steal one lousy chicken and you're marked for life.
Grand theft automobile, J.W. Looky here.
Sheriff, I bought that car cash money.
You can't afford no car like this.
These fancy Italian jobbies cost a fortune.
New Dodge Challenger coupe, Buford.
Challenger?
And it don't cost no fortune.
But just look at it. Look at the way this baby's built. Why, it's even got torsion bars.
The price they got on it, but anybody can afford one.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Dodge Challenger concept vehicle. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the Dodge Challenger concept vehicle. The Dodge Challenger is back as a concept vehicle that propels the pony car genre into a new era. The Challenger concept plays visual homage to the original, which was introduced in 1970 and remains the icon of the series. The resemblance is clear in the profile, the chopped dual-round headlamps, the wide mouth grille bearing the Dodge family look, the power bulge hood with the working butterfly hood scoops, and the muscular side panels and the rectangular tailpipes. But there's nothing retro about it. We sought to recreate the Challenger, not as it was, but as enthusiasts see it in their mind's eye, without the old imperfections like the long front overhangs or the rather imprecise fit and finish. Every inch of this car benefits from the 21st century technology. In fact, we started with the already advanced LX platform, shortened by 4 inches. Advances in material developments and lighting technology have allowed us to capture a clean look that was just not possible with the original car. Take, for example, the horizontal taillights that extend across the entire width of the car, true to the original, but now lit with diffused neon technology. And where the 1970 Challenger was famous for its flat black hood graphics, we've captured that look by leaving the black carbon fiber exposed amid a field of the all-new blazing orange metallic paint. Of course, what's under the hood is pretty important too. Our peerless 6.1-litre SRT-developed Hemi V8 was the irresistible choice, giving 425 horsepower. The Mopar enthusiasts long for their old 4-speed. Well, we've exceeded that expectation by 2 with a 6-speed manual. Many of the other cues our Challenger fans would appreciate can be found on the interior, which stays true to the original minimalist driver-oriented layout. There are more recognizable things, like the driver-oriented center console unit housing that famous pistol grip shifter for the 6-speed manual tranny, and there are more subtle touches, the ribbed steering column, the classic piping on the black leather seats, the signature sculpted door trim panels are unique for this product. Yes, there's plenty here to capture the spirit of that original Challenger, but with a thoroughly modern execution.
You know, as I mentioned off the top of the program, Kia considers the entire minivan market competition for its Sedona, but they're really taking aim at the Japanese with the Odyssey and the Sienna. Vehicles that come with a lot of options, as does a Sedona. In fact, options you've lived without all your life, and once you have them, you wonder how you lived without them. For instance, the tilting side view mirrors. On this Sedona, you can tilt both. You can tilt just the right to help in parking, but you know what I like best? The fact that you can put the indicator in the neutral position and it overrides both mirrors for you drivers who know how to park without tilting rear view mirrors. Now, I know one man that when it comes to cars loves the word override, and that's our man in the Quaker State Garage, Bill Gardner.
Brad, you know that I hate any vehicle that does anything I didn't ask it to do, move, change, alter anything. Just give me lots of controls, but let me be the guy that controls them, please. Anyhow, what I want to talk about this week is a common problem that's coming up on a lot of late model vehicles, and that's that we're finding that the fan will work on the highest blower speed, but in many cases, some of the reduced blower speeds, the fan will go dead, completely quit, and we won't have those reduced blower speeds. Now, typically the component that fails is one of these little components right here. This is one for the Chevy called a heater resistor. This one out of a Honda, they refer to it in the parts catalog as a heater transistor. And it's these components that give us the reduced blower speeds. The resistance in this circuit board produces the reduced blower speeds. Now, when the fan works on the highest speed, you know the fan motor itself is okay. When you lose those reduced speeds, it's the resistor that's failed. Typically, they're located on the passenger side of the vehicle, in most cases up underneath the dash on the passenger side, just above the passenger's feet, usually 3 or 4 inches from the blower motor itself. And they're a fairly easy deal to change once you've got that shroud off, or the hush panel that covers up the underside of the dash. Remove it. There's usually a couple of screws holding this resistor into the heater case. Now, interesting thing, on the Odyssey van, the first one the Honda dealer gave me was $56. Went to the vehicle, it didn't fit the vehicle. They ran the VIN for me, came up with this one, which was $120, and this one fitted and worked properly. Just goes to show you there can be quite a variation in the price. This little one for the Chevy Malibu, $30. Pretty easy deal to change, and replacing this component in most cases will give you back all those blower speeds your vehicle had designed into it. Till next week, I'm Bill Gardner for Motoring 2006.
It's been snowing in most parts of this country every year for about 20,000 years. In fact, it's snowing right now. And yet every year it seems to come as a huge surprise to a lot of people. What is that stuff? Well, of course, it makes the road slippery, so you got to slow down. You got to put on your winter tires. You got to pay more attention. You got to make sure your car is in good shape. And you got to get yourself one of these. Every year you see people driving around like this. They haven't even bothered to clean their car off. What are they thinking? They can't see out the front. They can't see out the back. How tough can this be? Spend 5 minutes before you get in your car to wipe the silly thing down. Make sure you got the tail lights cleared off. Make sure you got the roof cleared off, because if you don't, what happens when you drive? It ends up on your back window. What are people? I don't understand this. They can't see out the front. Sometimes they'll do this little bit here, you know, they'll just kind of scrape the thing off and they'll look through that. What are they, crazy? And you got to get it off the hood, because otherwise it just blows right back on your car. You got to make sure the headlights are cleaned off, and the air intake too. You got to make sure the car is getting proper air. It ain't rocket science, folks, but every year you see this on the road. I don't understand it. Now, I know I'm talking to motoring viewers. You people would never do something like this, would you? I'm Jim Kenzie.
So is it thumbs up or thumbs down on the new Kia Sedona? Well, first of all, let me just say I'm a big fan of the minivan. Unlike most sport utilities, which have to sacrifice either passengers or luggage, you don't have to make that compromise with a minivan. And that goes for this new Sedona. It is simply head and shoulders better than the old one. Plenty of luggage space, great interior, and a terrific engine. And it's about $10,000 cheaper than a comparable Odyssey or Sienna. And you know, most people would say that's pretty cool. That's it for now. We'll see you next time out as we continue to bring you more stories about cars and the people who drive them.
It really is fanaticism, if you like, for the Jeep vehicle. There's many people that bought a Jeep for utilitarian purposes, and that was 20 years ago, and they still drive Jeep. There's something absolutely unique and magical about the vehicle.
TSN's Motoring 2006 has been brought to you by the new Q from Quaker State. Unleash all your horses.